we wouldn't even be able to get into university in the first place. And secondly, we would fail. We wouldn't be smart enough to pass the classes. So in this age of Kali Yuga, we have many disqualifications, which makes it basically impossible to achieve prema. But Nityananda, he takes compassion and he makes up the difference. So whatever you're lacking, you ask for his help, he'll give it. And that's how it works. So the false ego says, I'm going to do it. I'll be Krishna conscious. The humble devotee says, by my own strength, I won't be able to do it. But by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga Nityananda, if they are kind upon me, then I can do it. Not by my strength, but by their strength. So that's the idea. So one of the most interesting things I think Prabhupada ever said about this was on a morning walk. And a devotee asked Prabhupada, how do you become determined to follow your vows? Prabhupada said something which nobody understood. He said, you don't have any right to ask that question. But what does that mean? Srila Prabhupada, how do you get the determination to follow your vows? You don't have the right to ask that question. Why? You already made your vows. It's too late. You could ask that before. But once you make your vows, there's no question of not following them. And Prabhupada said, you commit to your vows, and Krishna, by that commitment, Krishna will give you the strength to follow them. So it's not like you get the strength and then follow. You don't even have the strength, just commit. And by that commitment, you get the strength. Krishna does everything through the commitment. Interesting, isn't it? And I told this story a few times in the last week. For those of you who haven't heard, the Navy SEALs are the highest, most difficult, it's the most difficult training in the Navy and all the military. And I talked to a devotee who came back from naval training, and he said, the training of the Navy SEALs, the most elite group of the Navies, is done in a way to try to get everyone who's being trained to quit. They make it that difficult that everyone will want to quit. That's purposeful. Because if you make it through that, then it's like, well, you can make it through anything in wartime. So they want to make it so difficult that everyone will quit because they don't want people in the front lines of special missions who are going to quit. And so this devotee spoke to some of the Navy SEALs who made it through the training, and he said, how did you do it? And they said, I made a commitment and I'm going to do it. That was it. They all said the same thing. Otherwise, they weren't necessarily, he said they weren't necessarily physically or mentally stronger than the ones who didn't make it. It's just they made that commitment. So Prabhupada is saying, once you make a commitment, you don't have the right to ask how to keep the commitment. You don't have the right to ask how to get the strength. You keep the commitment and Krishna gives you the strength. Isn't that interesting? You don't even need the strength to follow your vows. You just need the commitment and Krishna will give it to you. That's how it works. Isn't it easy? Beautiful? The power of commitment. Yeah. So it's like what Prabhupada was saying. You make a commitment and then the mercy comes. So you don't need the strength to follow. You need the commitment and then you will get the strength. And that strength that you get, that's coming from mercy. Right? Beautiful. And a humble devotee feels by my own strength, by my own intelligence, I will never be highly elevated. But if the mercy comes, then anything is possible. And that's why you have verses that say, by mercy, blind men can see, by mercy, dumb men can speak, by mercy, lame men can climb mountains. That's why those verses are there. Because it's meant to show that the mercy of Guru, the mercy of Krishna, is so powerful that if we get it, we can do impossible things. In one sense, in Kali Yuga, kind of impossible to follow these vows these ladies are making. But it's possible by mercy. And when you stop being committed and making the effort, you lose the mercy. So you remain committed. You do your best. Your best is certainly not good enough. But by doing your best, Guru and Krishna will make up the difference. And they'll give you all the strength you need. That's how it works. So one of the things we see in the prayers of the Acharyas, that they're begging for mercy. And why would you beg for mercy? You would only beg for mercy if you understand you need it. And not only you need it, but how much you need it, how desperately you need it, how without it, you can't advance in Krishna consciousness. And if you want to love Krishna, then you would become desperate for the mercy, because you know that's the only way I'll get it. So sometimes in the prayers of our acharyas, there'll be verses like, I'm begging, I'm pleading, I'm crying. That's an exhibition of extreme humility in the realization that I'm unqualified. And, you know, it's like a child, like Prabhupada says, chanting is like a child crying for its mother. You remember when you were a kid and you wanted some candy and your parents wouldn't give it to you, or anything you wanted and you kind of had a tantrum? It's a good example. You should have a tantrum for mercy. The reason, I mean, I'm not a child psychologist, so don't take this verbatim. But the reason a child would get so upset is because they don't have money. So they can only get it if their parents buy it for them. And if they really want it, they go crazy and they cry and they scream and they kick and they yell. Right? And so basically the acharyas are kind of exhibiting that mood, that I want Krishna prema so badly and I have no money. I can't buy it. I'm poor. I'm not, my poverty is my disqualification. So the only way I can get it is just like the only way that kid can get the candy. The parents have to buy it. So the only way I can get love of Krishna is I have to get it. It's bought by my guru, by Prabhupada, by Nityananda Mahaprabhu. They have to give it to me. So you see the acharyas they're often in that mood. I'm begging, I'm pleading, I'm crying, just like a little kid. And that's why Prabhupada says it's like a child crying for its mother. It's helpless. Our position is helpless. And, you know, materially speaking, that would be a sign of extreme weakness if you walk around and feel helpless and tell your friends I'm helpless. And they'll try to console you. But it's considered a great virtue spiritually to feel helpless because it's a reality, at least helpless in terms of achieving pure love of Krishna. That's not, we can't do that just by our intelligence or strength. But we can do that by pleasing Guru, getting their mercy, getting their guidance, getting their strength. And then there's a verse in Shastra. You may know this verse. It said, difficult things become easy when you have the mercy. And easy things become difficult if you don't have it. So oftentimes Prabhupada would say Krishna consciousness is easy. And oftentimes he would say it's difficult. Meaning, if we're getting the mercy, it's easy. And if we're not following and not getting the mercy, it's difficult because then it's just left on our shoulders. And on our shoulders, we can't do it. You ever try to chant good rounds and the more you try, the worse they get? Yeah. So that's at that point, sometimes we just stop and say, Krishna, I need your mercy because I can't do this. Is like everything I'm trying every technique I've learned, every tool in my toolbox. I'm going to every japa book I ever read and reading the highlights, and nothing's working. It's just getting worse. So sometimes that happens, and it's a sign of our condition, and it's a sign of how much we need help. And in those moments, we just call out to Krishna. Because we know the only way we're going to get out of this deep, dark hole is by mercy. So that's the idea. So, and initiation is an aspect of mercy, but in a sense, you qualified for it. So here's the paradox. If mercy is a gift, and Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, gives it to people who are not qualified, who are the most qualified, who are the most unqualified, they get the mercy. Then one might think, well, maybe I should go out today and get drunk and smoke marijuana and steal and, like, do horrible things because Nityananda gives mercy to the most fallen. So I should act like the most fallen. It's actually the opposite, that I should act in a way, I should do my best to try to be Krishna conscious, and that will attract Nityananda because I'm trying. And Nityananda will look at you and say, you poor thing, you're useless. Your effort alone, it's really good that you're trying, and I see that you're trying. But that alone, it's not gonna get you to your goal, but I'm gonna help you because you're trying. That's how it works. It's not that we don't try, we try our best. We always try our best, knowing that best is gonna fall short. But knowing that if we try our best, we get mercy. And that mercy makes up the difference of what we're lacking. And Nityananda's mercy is so great that Nityananda's mercy can give you prema, which is basically impossible ordinarily. Prema in the mood of the residents of Braja, which is extremely rare. And obviously we're not qualified for it, but by his mercy we can get it. So, hey, he's given it, I'll take it. Right? The big sign in front of UF. High school dropouts. Admission to UF. Free. Okay, if that's the case, might as well take it. I'm a high school dropout, yeah. So if Nityananda Prabhu is going to give that much mercy, then here's your big chance. Take it. It'll do wonders for you. It'll change you in ways you can't believe. When Prabhupada was here, we had huge transformations, and they happened very quickly in his presence. And Prabhupada was really the manifestation of Nityananda in America, and when he was here. It was just personified Nityananda's mercy, and that's why there was so much transformation, and it was so quick, because there was so much mercy. And I remember specifically myself having experiences of such changes in my heart and consciousness, and I couldn't understand, I couldn't imagine that I could ever experience that. Like the levels of tolerance or compassion or kindness or detachment. It's just I couldn't even understand how it was happening. But it was obvious. It was coming from the mercy of Prabhupada. And we were our hearts were being infiltrated by mercy, and it was changing us in ways that would have been impossible for us to change. So that's how it works. Sound good? You want to sign up for it? Yeah, if I were you, I'd sign up. And today is the day to sign up for it, because this is the day Nityananda Prabhu appeared. But really, we should sign up for it every day. And his mercy is available every day, but especially today. And the more you realize you need the mercy, the more you'll be inclined to give it. And needing the mercy means the more you want to become Krishna conscious. Therefore, the more you'll need it, and the more you'll ask for it, right? Correct? Yes. Correcto. Da. Trying to cover all the languages. Da. Correcto. What other countries do we have? Oh, German. Ja. Ja, good. Das ist good. Okay. And to speak Hindi, you don't have to know how to speak Hindi. All you have to know is how to do this. That means yes. That's good enough. Okay. Oh, we have Holland also. But they speak English in Holland. How do you say yes in Dutch? Ja? Must be ja. Yeah, ja. 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 Okay. So I think I had a senior moment this last week. I had a few of them. And I thought, sometimes it's hard when you have large number of disciples. It's difficult to remember what their names were before. And if you can give them a name that's similar, then you can remember their spiritual name. Because yeah, old age attacks you. You could forget. So aside from Franco, because there's no F's in Sanskrit, everyone else is going to get a name that's very similar to the name they have now. I don't know if that's depressing for you or it makes you happy. You will find out. Yeah. So let's do Achman, and all of you out there, if you can do Achman, that would be nice. While you do Achman, yeah, someone has to show you how to do Achman. You take the spoon in your left hand, and you take 3 drops of water in your right hand. Ek, do, tin, I don't know how to do that in Spanish or German. 1, 2, 3, 3 drops in your right hand. Then you say, Om Keshavaya Namaha. And that name, Keshava, goes into the water, and then you drink it. So you're drinking a mantra. This is the original mantra water. You know about mantra water? Chant mantra into the water and drink it. You could start a business if you mantra water. I have the billboards ready in my head. Have you drank your mantra water today? They do this in yoga, and they speak into the water, like they'll say compassion or kindness or whatever, and then they'll drink it. Calmness, and they drink. According to Hari Bhakti, his wife drinks it and it calms her down. Right? She drinks mantra water. So the second time you take your 3 drops, you will say Om Narayanaya Namaha. And the third time you take your mantra water, you'll say Om Keshavaya Namaha. So unto, excuse me, Madhavaya Namaha. So unto Keshava, Keshavaya means unto Keshava. Narayana, unto Narayana, and Madhavaya, unto him. And when we do this is for purification. So all the initiates out there, you can do the same thing. Even if you're not initiated, if you're like inspired, you're like very grammatical, you can do it. It's just for purification. Sometimes before you chant Gayatri, if you're inspired, you can do it. So you're taking, cleansing yourself through mantra that you're drinking. So all the initiates can do that. If you don't have a cup and a spoon, you can get one now and do it. Ishavaya, Madhavaya, Ishavaya, Narayana, and Madhavaya. Ishavaya, Narayana. Om Keshavaya, Narayana, Narayana. Narayanaya Namaha. And Madhavaya Namaha. And then we chant a mantra, which Prabhupada chanted in initiation, Om Pavitra, Pavitrava. Pavitra means pure, and apavitra means not pure. Om means obeisances. Om apavitra, Pavitrava. Sarva Vastam, Patopiva. Whether you're pure or impure, wherever you've been in your life, whatever you've done. Om Apavitra, Om Apavitra, Om Apavitra, Sarvavastam Kutopiva. Yat Smare, if anyone, Smare remembers, Pundarik Aksham, lotus eyes, the lotus eyes of Krishna. Sarva Bhaya Anta. Sarva Bhayam Anta Antir. What's the last line? Sarva Bhayam Anta. Suchi. Yeah, Sarvaya Antara Suchi. They will be cleansed inside and outside. So this, like everything we do in Krishna consciousness is meant for purification, and everything we do in Krishna consciousness is meant to help us remember Krishna. And so this initiation is just to help you remember Krishna. That's it. Hare Krishna. Okay. So what we're going to do here, first, for all of those on Zoom, first we're going to do the initiation, give the names of the devotees here. There's 4 devotees here. So I have to explain what they're going to do. So we'll call your name. Then you can pay obeisances to Prabhupada. And then you can pay obeisances here. And then you can pay obeisances to Prabhupada. You can pay obeisances here with your left side facing me, your left side facing Prabhupada. And then you can come here, and then I'll ask you the principles and the number of rounds, and then I'll give you your beads and your name. We'll just go in order, left to right. So you can, when you, according to Shastra, when you pay obeisances, you pay with your left side to the deities. Actually, Shastra says you pay with your head towards the guru. But anyway, we'll pay with the left side. Yeah. That's right. Mm-hmm. This is Tanya from California, originally from Russia. She came all the way out here. Everyone knows Russians are the best devotees. I pray you'll take birth in Russia in your next life, so you can perfect it. You can be envious that you're not Russian. Okay, so what are the 4 principles you're going to follow?
No meat, no eggs, and fish.
That's 3 principles right there. What else?
No gambling, no intoxication, no sex.
Okay. And how many rounds?
16 rounds every day.
Yeah. Minimum.
Minimum 16 rounds every day.
Yeah.
Try my best to do it without committing.
Yeah. Yes. So her name is Tanya. As I told you, it's going to be easier to remember. Your name is Chaitanya Leela Devi Dasu. So we have Trayodasi here, and she's like, you gave my name away. Yeah, yeah. Joshua says, this is second birth, so they're all being born. This is their second birthday. Auspicious that Nityananda's appearance day. So this is Juliana from New York. No, oh, Hare Krishna. I didn't get enough rest. This is Franca, all the way from, she came all the way from Uruguay. Uruguay it's far. It's like, you can only go to Argentina below Uruguay, and then you're in the South Pole. It's like 11 hours, 12 hours. Okay? So there are not many devotees in Uruguay, and she's helping the preaching there. So, what are you going to tell me?
I make the vow to not live for the eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex.
I have a comment here. If you eat a lot of gulab jamuns, that's breaking the principle of no intoxication. Because if you eat too much sugar, you get intoxicated. Just saying. You know, it depends how many you eat. You have to restrict. Okay,
And 10 a minimum of 16 good rounds a day.
okay. So there's some devotees in that I'm very close to in Argentina. Prema and Premi, Prema Madhava Rupa, Premi Madhavi Rupi. And they have cultivated her, and we consulted with them on a name. They don't even know I'm giving you this name. They think I'm giving you another name. But this is an I added to the name Premi if you're here somewhere. And she may not, well, she's back in Argentina, so you should be. I added to the name that you like. So we could choose any name because there's no F name. So we gave you the name Kishori Vallabha Devidasi. So Premi like the name Kishori, and I have a disciple named Nandini Kishori. And I thought, okay. Vallabha means dear, and Kishori means a young girl, like an adolescent. So Kishori is often a name of Radha. So it means dear to Radha. So you're the servants of those dear to Radha. Of course, Krishna is dear to Radha. It can also be, I'm a servant of the gopis, they're dear to Radha. Servant of the devotees, dear to Radha. I'm servant of Krishna, he's dear to Radha. And I thought, if we name you Kishori Vallabha, probably most people end up calling you Kishori because Vallabha is 3 more syllables. And you know, it's Kali Yuga and that takes energy. So, but if I just call you Kishori, there's no option of Kishori Vallabha. And so there's an option that they may call you Kishori Vallabha, but at least they'll call you Kishori. So there you go. Hare Krishna. Now it's time for Juliana. Juliana is from New York, then from California, and recently has gone to New Vrindavan, where she's now engaged in full-time devotional service. Nice. Okay.
Is it on?
You know what I think? I think we should turn it on and leave it on. Should be a green light or something. It's on.
Is it on?
The whole world can hear you. You know, you're making a vow in front of the deities. Of course, I'm accepting the vow, and you're making a vow in front of all the devotees.
No pressure.
And all these devotees. There's 75 devotees watching. But they can't see you. No pressure. There she is, everyone.
Vow to follow the four good principles: no meat eating of any kind, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex, and to chant 16 rounds minimum every day.
Good. Hare Krishna. So, this was an interesting one, but an easy one. Your name is Julian Yatra Devi Dasi. Told you. I wasn't even thinking of you, I was just thinking of me. How can I remember all these names? So, did you expect that name?
Yeah, actually.
Julian means swing and Yatra means festival. And it's a festival that happens, I believe, in the fall. So it's a festival where we're worshiping Radha and Krishna. So the idea of that name is, you can see it as a servant of those who worship Radha and Krishna, or, you know, just Radha and Krishna coming together. That's what it's all about, right? Okay. Well, this is Nirali from New Jersey. She brought half of New Jersey with her. She's quite popular. There's a lot of people from New Jersey here in the temple.
I promise, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and chant a minimum of 16 rounds daily.
You know, you can't make a vow to chant 16 good rounds, but you can make a vow to try. Yeah, we can make a vow to try that. Okay. So this is Nirali, who's now Narayani Devi Dasi. Okay, so we have more devotees online. So I'm just going to go as I see you. And the first one I see is Tatiana. So Tatiana, why don't you just come up? And what we do on Zoom, what we do on Zoom is we like pretend that I'm giving beads. But Tatiana, you will get your beads, I don't know, in a few weeks. So you have to unmute, or do I have to unmute you? Can you unmute yourself? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yes.
Tatiana is also from Russia, no, from Ukraine, and she left Ukraine with her 4 children. She's a real, what we call in America, a trooper. You know, it was a bit dangerous leaving Ukraine. She left during the war, with 4 kids on the train to Sweden, I think. Now she's in Germany.
No, yes, I wasn't.
It's a happy day for her. She wanted to be initiated a couple of years ago, but now it's happening. Okay, so you can come and tell the principles.
I vow to follow the 4 regulative principles: no meat eating, including fish and eggs, no intoxications, no gambling, no illicit sex, and try to chant minimum 16 rounds Maha Mantra every day.
Okay. So your name is, and I'm giving you the virtual beads. You can put your hand up. Your name is Gokula Tarini Devi Dasi. So Tarini means young girls, Gokul is Gokul, but when you put it together, Prabhupada says, or Shastra says it's, what is it? Hold on. It's she whom all the young girls of Gokul worship. So that's Radharani. Right, so it's the name of Radharani, Gokula Tarini. It's in the song, right? Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jaya Gokula Taruni Mandalam. Thank you, Nityananda. She looks very happy. Okay, so I'm going across, and the next one I see is Karina. Karina is in a place called Goa in India. If you were ever a hippie, you've probably been to Goa. Okay, okay, Karina.
Hare Krishna Gurudev. The four regulative principles I vow to follow are no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, and no illicit sex. And I vow to chant 16 rounds minimum every day.
What kind of rings? Schnick, schnick, wom, wom rounds? Try to chant good rounds, yeah. Because
Yes.
just chanting 16 rounds, bad rounds, it's like, that's a waste of time. It really is. Well, not a complete waste of time, but partially. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so, guess what Karina's name is? Who could guess what we would name Karina? Karuna, yeah. Your name is Karuna Devi Dasi. It's actually not Karuna, it's Karuna. That's the way. If you know Sanskrit, it's Karuna. Okay. Thank you, Karuna. Show mercy to everyone and show mercy to yourself. We just read the Nityananda Astakam in the last verse of the Astakam, one of the verses that said, show mercy at least to yourself. Didn't it say something like that? What did it say? Compassion.
He smiles glancingly upon those even who do not show love for themselves.
Or even who do not show love for themselves. So Karuna means compassion for everyone and also compassion for ourselves. Okay, next in line I see Rania. Rania is also from Russia. So you can unmute.
Ну, я на русском буду просто.
Конечно, да, конечно.
Харе Кришна, Диа Гуру Махарадж. Пожалуйста, примите мои поклоны.
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.
Сегодня я даю вам свои обеты. Я обещаю повторять на четках минимум 16 кругов Маха-мантры ежедневно и стараться делать это внимательно.
Today I'm giving my vows, and I promise to repeat 16 rounds of Maha Mantra every day on beats, and I will try to do it very attentively.
Я обещаю строго следовать 4 регулирующим принципам. Не употреблять в пищу мясо, рыбу, яйца, не употреблять интоксикации, не играть в азартные игры и не заниматься незаконным сексом.
And also, I vow to strictly follow the four regulative principles: not to eat meat, fish, and eggs, not to gamble, not to get engaged into illicit sex, and not consume intoxications.
You know why we take a vow to do this? Because if we don't live a pure life, we won't be able to chant purely.
А знаете, для чего мы это делаем? Потому что если мы не сможем жить чистую жизнь, то мы не сможем чисто воспевать.
It's not like we like to torture people,
Это не потому, что мы любим издеваться над людьми.
but, we try to live a sinless life, and that enables us or empowers us to be able to chant purely.
И мы хотим жить нашу жизнь без греха, и это позволяет нам воспевать чисто.
You're going to chant how many rounds? 64, did you say?
Вы сказали, что вы будете воспевать 64 круга, верно я понял?
Начну с 16 и постараюсь повторять больше.
I will start with 16 rounds and then I will try to do more.
No, once in a while, 64 is good.
Иногда 64 круга это хорошо.
So her name is Rania. What name do you think I gave Rania?
И ее имя ранее, как думаете, какое имя я ей дам?
I couldn't get Radharani because we already have one.
Я не мог дать имя Радхарани, потому что у нас уже
Radharani
есть.
is out, but you're close. What do you think?
Но вы очень близки к этому имени. Как вы думаете?
Рахини.
Your name is Maharani Devidasi.
Ваше имя Махарани Девидаси.
Maharani is Maharani. Of course, it's the name of Radha.
Это имя Радхи.
Maha is great,
Маха это великий.
and Rani is queen. So Radharani is the greatest queen.
И Махарани это великая королева.
Maharani Devidasi ki jai.
Jai.
I'm looking, so next is Claudia, and then Bharat. I haven't forgotten you.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Are you?
Todos aceptan mi reverencia.
Yeah, I see it.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Claudia is right now around Cancun, right? Yes?
No,
Where? In Mexico City?
México, sí.
Oh, okay. So we need translation?
I am here with her. I am Alakshya.
I know. Okay. So Claudia, you can recite the 4 principles.
¿Quieres recitar los 4 principios?
Sí. No comer carne, huevo ni pescado.
No eat meat, egg, or fish.
No juegos de azar.
No gambling.
No sexo ilícito.
Not illicit sex.
Wow.
No intoxication.
No intoxicación.
No intoxication.
When I was initiated,
Cuando me iniciaron,
the devotee who got initiated before me, when he recited the principles, Prabhupada went like that.
el devoto que estaba frente de mí, que estaba recitando los 4 principios.
Apparently, this devotee was a chain smoker.
What?
He was always smoking. He smoked a lot.
Dice que esta persona, ese devoto siempre estaba fumando.
Prabhupada asked, not like that.
Prabhupada les dijo, no es tú.
Anyway, how many rounds, Claudia?
Entonces, ¿cuántas rondas, Claudia?
Quiero cantar, me comprometo a cantar mínimo 16 buenas rondas durante el resto de mi vida.
She says, I commit to chant good 16 rounds during the rest of my life.
Wow. That's great. Okay. So, Claudia, your name is Kamala Devidasi.
Claudia, tu nombre es Kamala Devidasi.
We have to explain why would someone at the time of initiation get the name of a flower?
Dice que tenemos que explicar por qué el nombre de iniciación que recibes es el nombre de una flor.
Because Prabhupada, because there's so many verses about Krishna's, the various parts of his body being compared to a lotus. And Kamala means
Porque hay muchos versos en los que se comparan varias partes del cuerpo de Krishna a los lotos.
and when Prabhupada spoke about prayers of Queen Kunti, she said,
Cuando Prabhupada habla de eso, dice,
Namo Pankajanabayam, Namo Pankajamalini, Namo Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangraye. Your eyes are like lotus, your belly's like a lotus, your feet are like lotus, and
tus
Malini.
ojos son como un loto, tu obligo es como un loto.
Malini. Anyway, but there's more verses. So
Hay muchos versos.
there's so many parts of your body are like lotus, your palms, your feet.
Muchas partes del cuerpo son como lotos, las palmas, tus pies, tus ojos.
So the Prabhupada said, when you think of the lotus, you think of Krishna because he's got so many lotuses on his body.
Ajá. Dice que cuando piensas en los lotos, piensas en Krishna porque hay muchos lotos en el cuerpo de Krishna.
So when you think of your name, or when we think of your name, we think of Krishna.
Cuando pienses en tu nombre, vas a poder pensar en Krishna.
You're the servant of one who
Tú eres la sirvienta de aquel.
Okay, so now it's time for Bharat. Bharat is in South Florida right now. We are in North Florida.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you for accepting me as your disciple. I vow to chant 16 good rounds, and I vow to not eating meat, fish or egg, no intoxication, no gambling or no illicit sex.
Thank you. How many rounds?
16 good rounds.
Okay.
Meaning,
So this is a bit of a Ritvik initiation. You know that, Bharat, don't you? That Bharat's real guru is Lakshmi Nrsimha. So Lakshmi Nrsimha and I had a discussion because Lakshmi Nrsimha is his Siksha guru, but he's not taking officially initiating disciples. So we decided that I would do it, or like we would do it together. It's like you're being initiated by two people, kind of, sort of, something like that. That's my joke. It's Ritvik. I'm a Ritvik for Lakshmi Nrsimha. Not exactly, but so your name is Bharata Shrestha Dasa.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you.
Bharata Shrestha Hari Bol.
So Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, I believe it's 17:12, Krishna addresses Arjuna as Bharata Shrestha. Shrestha means the best. So the best of the Bharatas, the dynasty of Bharat, the best. Yeah. So it's basically the name of Arjuna. And it also comes up in another Shastra called Harivamsa, Bharata Shrestha. Anyway, you can't forget your name. Even and we got beads. Yeah, he's actually got the beads.
Boom.
Given to him by Lakshmi Nrsimha. That's perfect.
And witnessed by his 98-year-old mother.
Oh, Hare Krishna.
Baza. She is a lifelong Vaishnavi from Gujarat, and a total inspiration in his life and for all the devotees. She's called Ba, which means the mother of all.
Oh, thank you. Wonderful. Okay, so the next up is Scarlet. Scarlet is Iranian. She's now living in Sweden. Those who know Scarlet know that she is very detached and very mystical also. Okay, Scarlet. Scarlet and yeah, Krishna speaks to Scarlet. Yes. Okay.
I vow to not to eat meat, not to gamble, not to take intoxication, and not illicit sex, and do 16 round minimum.
Thank you. So I'm gonna give you your digital beads, and you will get your real beads. Your name is Sadhvi Devidasi. Sadhvi is the feminine of sadhu. So everyone who knows Scarlett knows she's like a sadhu. Yes? She's very pure, very renounced. We only have one more. We have two more. She's very renounced, very pure. And Prabhupada had a disciple named Sadhvi, and I know her, and she is very renounced and very pure. And so when I think of you, I think you're a sadhu. So, but Sadhvi Devidasi means you're a servant of the other sadhu. You're a servant of all the sadhus, male and female. And that is perfect. Servant of the servant. Okay, so we have two more. The next one is lice, and then somewhere, I hope Yulia is here. Don't see her. But yeah, so lice is originally from Portugal, and he lives in Amsterdam. And I don't know. Does he need a translator, Toshan?
He's from Brazil, and I think he tries in English.
Brazil, yeah.
En je doet dan de wat?
You can do it in Spanish if you want, because I understand Spanish. Everyone understands Spanish. So, yeah, but Portuguese and Spanish is similar. Okay.
You can try that.
Okay, Lice. What are the four principles?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. The four regulative principles is no eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and chanting minimal 16 rounds Hare Krishna Mahamantra daily.
What was the first one? No eating? I just heard no eating.
No eating.
No meat eating.
No.
Eating of meat.
No eating of meat. So nervous. No
And
fish.
I will ask you a question. Lice. Prabhupada asked one of his disciples, which of those four principles is your favorite?
Favoriete van die vier principes. Hij Prabhupada als ik het vraag.
No illicit sex.
He does like women, I guess. Yeah. When Prabhupada asked Kusakrata this question, he said, all of them, Prabhupada. I like them all. Yeah, they're all my favorite. Anyway.
Alle vier hou ik van.
We're just having fun with you. Okay, so put out your hands and I will give you your digital beads and you'll get the beads. You already have the beads, no?
It's already, you sent already.
Have the beads, so Toshan's gonna give you the beads. Your name is Leeleshvara Dasa. Ishvara means control, or Leela is pastime. So
Lila Ashvara.
Leela is Krishna's pastime.
Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj.
Lila Ashvara.
Leeleshvara.
Lileshwara.
I have to have a class to teach you how to pronounce your name. Leeleshvara. Controller of Leelas. Okay. And we have one more, which is Yulia, and she's there. The big day. Yulia was just finalized, her initiation was finalized yesterday. Can you unmute, Yulia? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, and I need translation today. My vow: no eating of meat, eggs, and fish, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and I vow to chant 16 rounds, good 16 rounds every day.
Thank you. So Yulia is now Yugala. Wait a minute. Priti. Yugala Priti Devi Dasi.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Wow.
And Yugala Priti actually, Yugala means a couple and Priti means love. So
Югала означает пара, и прити означает любовь.
So you're the servant of the loving couple.
Это означает, что вы слуга влюбленной четы.
You know who that loving couple is, right?
Вы знаете, кто является этой четой влюбленной?
Я послушаю, Гуру Махараджа.
No, I'd like to hear what you will say.
Yeah, the loving couple is Radha and Krishna.
Рада Кришна, да. Да, да, знаю, да.
So that's a nice name.
Thank you.
I think that's everybody. So we have two devotees who are going to get Gayatri, but that will happen later. And we have a time limit here in the Krishna house because they have to get ready to do their Sankirtan of Prasadam distribution, right? We overstayed our time. Yeah. Oh, we can go longer because it's fast day. Okay. So I want to congratulate all the initiates. It is, I mean, to think that we've been in the material world forever, and this could be our last life, and we can go back to Krishna, is quite an overwhelming meditation. But that's what's happening. At least when you're initiated, you're preparing yourself. Like I said, it's not guaranteed, but you're putting yourself in an optimal position. And if you, and Prabhupada said many times that you could go back to Godhead in one lifetime, but you have to decide which lifetime you're going to do it in. And so when you get initiated, the idea is, well, I guess this lifetime. That's why you get initiated, to do it in this lifetime. And Prabhupada also said, you can see Krishna in this lifetime by this process. So those who take initiation are trying to do that, at least hopefully. And, you know, devotee said, like, well, you know, you had this operation and like, were you afraid you might die? And, you know, the options of living were more service, and the options of dying were playing with Krishna. So, you know, both options were good. So, just thinking about that, you know, at the end of this life, I could be with Krishna. It's like, if you meditate on that, such an amazing thought, because we've been away from him for so long. And we could be playing and dancing. And that's what, you know, really, that's what Prabhupada came to give. That opportunity, see Krishna, to be with him, to dance with him, to embrace him, become his friend, become his lover. And so you can have that. And so whatever sacrifice you make to achieve that, certainly it's worth it. It's certainly a small price to pay for being able to see Krishna face to face, be embraced by Krishna. Yes? So, as Prabhupada said to his disciples, I am your servant. I don't own you. I'm not here to exploit you, take advantage of you. I'm just here to try to help you in any way I can, to be your well-wisher, to pray for you, to be happy when you make advancement, to cry when you don't, and be of service. And Prabhupada asked us all to be of service to others. So whatever position you have, whether it's big or small, we're all just little servants. That's all we're. And one thing Prabhupada stressed a lot was for us to do what he was doing. And one time he said something, several times he said something quite amazing. He said, I expect you all to do more than I did. He said, I did 10 times what my Guru Maharaj did. And he's not boasting because he always said it's by his mercy. And you should do 20 times what I did. So I guess for grand disciples, it's up to 40 now. Of course, when we hear that, we think, well, how could we do anything like, better? But Prabhupada had about 5,000 disciples or 4,800. And his disciples some of his disciples have more than that. And have opened almost equal amount of temples, or maybe in their life more, maybe more. At least together, combined, open more. Prabhupada left, there was 108 temples, now there's like 800, and something like 135 in India. So, since we're talking about mercy, then at least understand that by the mercy of Prabhupada, the mercy of Guru, the mercy of Nityananda, we can do amazing things, and that's what our spiritual master wants. There's a discussion that Kalakanta and I and a few other devotees were having about the qualification of Guru. And one of the things that was discussed, that you can evaluate the qualification of a Guru by how many Gurus they've made, how many of their disciples become Gurus. Right? So that's the mandate. It's not just the Guru is the Guru, but all his disciples are meant to teach and share and become Guru, at least 6 years. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you all for attending. And we're happy for all the disciples. Please bless them all, that they can be successful in their bhakti, that they can keep their vows, that they can be happy in their bhakti, and then they can share it with others. Is that it? Time limits up here? Okay. Have an ecstatic Nityananda Trayodasi. Some of us are going to go to Alatra now to attend the bathing ceremony of Nityananda. But today's the day to beg. Oh, yeah, one other thing. On the appearance day of the Acharyas, or the incarnations of Krishna, and we say, beg for mercy, you can also be specific about what you need help with. So if you have an obstacle in your life, you can pray for that. Help me overcome this particular challenge that I have. Okay. All right. Thank you for attending. The Brahmins, I'll message the Brahmins, Jamuna and Krishna Shakti. I'll message you about what's next. And don't forget, Brahmins take bath 3 times a day. Just carry a cup of water and sprinkle yourself. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Go Premanandi.
Jai Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Sadhu. Trayodasi.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Guru Maharaj.
Make sure that listen.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.